If I handed you $1 million right now, it might be the greatest tragedy of your life. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But after 100 hours of decoding the secrets of the fast money trap, I've uncovered a chilling truth. The faster you get rich, the sooner you'll end up broke. The 21st century bombards us with overnight self-made millionaires flaunting mansions and luxury cars. But nobody tells you about the catastrophic collapse happening behind closed doors. In this video, I'm going to help you escape the prey mindset to build a sustainable empire. We're going to flip everything you thought you knew about success upside down to find the hidden truth. This isn't a sermon. This is a survival strategy for your wallet in 2026. Why does fast money evaporate just as quickly as it arrives? After spending 100 hours researching, I discovered an ironic truth. Money that arrives without the development of skill has a natural tendency to self-destruct. King Solomon used the term dishonest money. In modern economics, we call this wealth without infrastructure. It's what happens when you have a sudden influx of cash, but lack the internal operating system to manage it. Imagine plugging a 110-volt light bulb into a 220-volt power socket. What happens? Boom! The bulb burns out instantly. The human mind works exactly the same way. Every one of us has an internal financial thermostat. If you are programmed to live on $5,000 a month, your brain is wired to feel safe and manage money at that specific level. When you suddenly land $2 million from a crypto pump and dump or a lottery win, your brain enters a state of panic due to a system error because your financial operating system isn't strong enough, lacking management skills, discipline, and an investment mindset. Your subconscious views that extra money as a foreign object, a burden. The result? It triggers a defense mechanism, self-sabotage. You start making foolish purchases and investing in crazy projects just to push that money away as fast as possible, all to return to your safe zone, where you are still poor, but your mind is at ease. The 1% accumulation rule. So how do you apply the teaching of little by little in 2026? Don't misunderstand. This doesn't mean working slowly. Solomon was talking about systemic accumulation. First, to build your core skill. Instead of chasing pump and dump schemes, spend 1 hour every day mastering a skill that AI cannot replace. This is how you gather wisdom little by little. Second, implement a life DCA strategy. Don't just dollar cost average into stocks. Invest in your relationships and your health. Finally, set up an automated accumulation system. Even if it's just $50 a week into a safe asset, you are aligning yourself with the laws of the universe. The reality is, a lottery winner with $1 million usually loses it all within 5 years. But an entrepreneur who builds a business from scratch and earns $1 million over 10 years will know exactly how to turn it into $10 million. Why? Because they have 10 years of accumulated wisdom, not just one night of luck. Slow is so you never have to return to the starting line. Why is this so important in the big picture? Because true financial freedom isn't a sprint to a finish line. It is an ecosystem. If you build your house on sand with money that came too fast, you will always live in anxiety that an economic storm will wash it all away. But when you build little by little, every brick you lay is cemented by the experience and wisdom you've gathered. This is when you realize true freedom. Even if the market crashes, you have the power to build it all back from zero, because the ultimate asset is you. Mastering the art of little by little means you've already won 50% of the game. You've started making your money truly multiply. But there is a psychological trap that makes even the smartest people willing to throw away their hard-earned assets and all their patience just to chase a get-rich-quick opportunity. Why do we act so aggressively against our own best interests? Next, we are going to perform an anatomy of the fast money trap. I will show you how it hacks into your nervous system and why, once you fall in, almost no one can get out on their own. A security flaw in the mind, put simply. The trap isn't about the money, it's about speed and motive. It specifically targets those who treat wealth as their sole purpose in life, demanding it at any cost right now. In neuroeconomics, we call this dopamine hijacking. Your brain is so blinded by glamorous visions that it automatically shuts down your risk warning functions. You no longer see the trap. You only see the bait, and you'll ignore every red flag just to reach it. So, how do you know if you're standing in front of a trap? I have applied a 3-layer filter for the past 18 years to ensure I never become prey. Every time you encounter a get-rich-quick opportunity, you can apply it too. First, the infrastructure filter. Does this opportunity make me better, or does it just temporarily pad my pockets? If a job or investment promises money without requiring you to think, learn a new skill, or build a system, it's ghost money. This kind of wealth will inevitably dwindle away. Second, the 72-hour biological filter. The trap always forces you to decide immediately through the scarcity effect. When that happens, force yourself to wait exactly 72 hours. And this is the time it takes for the dopamine and cortisol levels in your blood to return to normal. If after 3 days the frenzy is gone, but it still makes logical sense, only then do you consider investing. Finally, the plunge point filter. Ask yourself, if this goes to zero tomorrow, will my life be plunged into ruin? If the answer is yes, then you aren't investing. You are walking straight into a death trap. Always remind yourself, never invest in anything you can't explain to a 10-year-old child in 2 minutes. If it's too complex to understand but promises quick wealth, it's a trap. Why is what I just shared a matter of life and death for your wealth? Because in the world of finance, the last person standing is the true winner. You can win 99 times by luck, but it only takes one slip into the plunge trap for your entire life's legacy to vanish. King Solomon wasn't the wealthiest because he knew more money hacks. He was the wealthiest because he had the mental fortitude to say no to hollow temptations. Refusing a get-rich-quick trap is the biggest stride you can take toward becoming sustainably wealthy. Now, you can use this 3-layer filter to dodge 99% of the scams out there. However, there's a brutal reality. Some people avoid the traps. They work with absolute integrity, yet they still feel stuck. They work tirelessly but see no money, only fatigue and pressure. Why? In this final part, I will show you the difference between a hasty person who is punished and a faithful person who is overflowed with blessings. This is the golden key to turning your patience into a massive fortune. Imagine building wealth is like building a house. A faithful person is the one who diligently digs the foundation, pours the concrete, and waits for it to dry before building further. The hasty person is the one who wants a flashy roof immediately for social media, so they skip the foundation and use cheap materials just to finish quickly. Solomon said, "The one eager to get rich will not go unpunished." This punishment isn't some mystical curse. It is simply the law of nature. A house without a foundation will collapse at the first sign of a light breeze. The same applies to finance. When you are hurrying for results, you tend to overlook risks, borrow recklessly, and chase shady deals. When the market storm inevitably hits, those who built properly remain safe, while the hasty lose everything. The punishment is being forced to watch your own life's work turn into a pile of rubble simply because you lacked patience. So, how do you know if you are widening your foundation or just stacking fake floors? Use the 10-year load-bearing rule. For every dollar you earn or every investment opportunity that comes your way, ask yourself, If I repeated this action consistently for 10 years, would I have an empire or a pile of trash? Start by managing every single cent with absolute transparency. If you can be honest in paying $1 of tax or $1 of debt, you are widening your foundation. When that foundation is wide and solid enough, you can stack as many floors of wealth as you want without fear of a collapse. Therefore, every time a hot deal appears, I check if it strengthens your foundation, your skills, your reputation, and your relationships. If it only makes the house taller while making the base weaker, say no. Why is this so important? Because wealth is the shadow, while character is the tree. Many people spend their lives trying to stretch the shadow through tricks and shortcuts, but the moment the sun sets, that shadow vanishes. Solomon teaches us to focus on nourishing the tree, making it tall and strong. When the tree is large enough, the shadow will naturally grow and remain stable over time. This isn't about moving slowly, it's about making your wealth unstoppable. Building a solid footing means you have conquered the laws of financial gravity. You no longer fear your tower falling because you know it is built on a steel foundation. At this point, I want to pause and say thank you. The fact that you are still here proves that the value I'm sharing is exactly what you've been searching for. Because of that, I want to give you one last gift. If the previous sections were the weapons, then this is the operating system you need to fire them with precision. I have a question for you. Why is it that when we scroll through social media and see someone younger than us flaunting a house or a car from a lucky strike, our hearts still burn with envy? Why do we still crave shortcuts even when we know the destination is often an abyss? What I am about to share will deconstruct the truth about money hunger in the brain and show you how to truly master your own greed. It is the one thing that even millionaires are still desperately searching for. Let's be real. Why do we feel the heat when we see someone else get rich overnight? It's because our brains are still running on a prey mindset. Thousands of years ago, if you saw a neighboring tribe find a massive food source that you didn't have, you would starve to death. That fear is hardwired into your DNA. Today, when you see someone hit the jackpot in crypto or buy a mansion, your brain doesn't see finance. It only understands one thing: you are being left behind and you are going to starve. This is what I call phantom hunger. In contrast, the architect mindset belongs to the one who stands above the fray and sees the entire blueprint. An architect understands that everyone has their own construction pace, but they don't envy someone else's flashy roof because they know that person's foundation is hollow. They focus solely on laying their own bricks as solidly as possible. How do you break the cycle of the prey mindset and upgrade to the architect mindset? I want to give you a tool called the 10-second pause button. Next time when you see someone showing off quick wealth and it makes your heart race, stop for exactly 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, ask yourself, am I craving their bait or do I really need to build my own tower? Instead of looking for ways to catch up with them, go back to doing exactly one thing on your plan's to-do list, like reading 10 more pages of a book, saving more, or completing one task. As a result, when you focus on your own target, the phantom hunger will disappear on its own. You shift from passive to proactive. If you are wealthy but still always looking at your neighbor to compare, you are still just a prey with more money. Solomon spoke of contentment not to make us lazy, but so that we can have the calmness of a king. When you master your mind, you will see opportunities that the hasty never see. You don't just own assets, you own peace, something that even the anxious millionaires out there don't have. I know, at first you clicked on this video just to learn about the risks of getting rich fast. But if you have patiently stayed with me until this moment, I believe that deep down, you are looking for something much greater than that. Don't just use this knowledge to avoid losing money. Use it to build wealth that time cannot erode and pressure cannot destroy. It only truly becomes valuable when it serves as a compass for you to walk with composure in a world that is going crazy over haste. Ultimately, I believe you've already made a huge profit compared to those who are busy scrolling through their phones looking for shortcuts to wealth out there. If you feel these insights deserve a place in your financial toolkit, hit subscribe so we don't lose each other in this sea of chaotic information. We will build real values together, little by little, but unbeatable. See you in the next video.